Oceania Live here in Kobe, in Japan. We are here with day number 2 of the DreamHack Masters Winter Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Mongolia, Japan Open Qualifiers, the wildcard qualifier as I like to call it, especially looking at how this bracket is seeded. Both of my personal, the players who I thought were going to make it out of this group, or of this bracket light, are both on the same side, which is a little bit unfortunate. I am, of course, talking about Cell and Nazin. But here on the other side of the bracket, which we're covering, there is another favorite who we are going to be getting into once they finish making the lobby.
Yes, hello, welcome,
also,
Yaku.
I am, of course, also your host, Yaku of Zaku. I just got home. I am Yaku of Zaku, and with me today is La Bicicleta Eléctrica que destruya hogares y vidas. Like, _VIP, how we doing, like?
What's up, Yaku? Is that really a poster condemning electric bicycles? Yeah. What? What? Yeah. It's electric.
Apparently, like the battery like blew up or something and caused fire.
Oh my!
And that's
God.
why they made a PSA.
Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head. But yes, welcome everyone to the Open Qualifier number 2. Numero dos. We have reached the halfway point here. Qualifier 1 has ended for all the other regions except for Oceania. We'll get Exactly. But for all the other regions, we've already gone through Qualifier number 1. We're already working our way through. And now we've reached Qualifier number 2. And as you said, !B in the chat if you want to have a look at the brackets. Nazin and Cell knocking each other out, mate. ! For nada the admins for the seeding, mate.
I mean, technically that was the seeding that was meant to happen regardless.
Sure.
Still, Funara seeds.
Yeah, it's brutal, mate.
Trees.
It's brutal that they're both facing each other because they are both deserving to be in the next round. And it's just not going to happen. One of them is going to go through and the other won't. And that means that from the lower bracket, from the lower half of the bracket, mate, it just opens things up.
It really does. A lot of wild cards here. But, of course, we are going for the third favorite, I would say, in this overall bracket. And definitely the favorite in this side of the bracket. I feel like I said bracket too many times. Oh, it's weird. We're, of course, talking about JavieR, who's going up now against KnockKnock.
Yes, he is the one who knocks, and we are ready to dive in here. I'm so excited. We were on the JavieR hype train last qualifier for qualifier number 1, and he just barely didn't make the cuts. But will that all change here? He did. He did. Mate, you don't want to go up against the Stork, mate. Ooh.
Unless you're the Joey.
Unless you... It's true. Joey is greater than the Stork.
It jumps.
It does.
What can a Stork do? How high can a Stork get? Really?
Yeah, really. Let's be real. As we are diving into our very first series here, gonna be a bit of a TvT.
Is this an alternate account from JavieR?
I believe it is. It's his ladder account.
Apparently, as we kick things off here on 2,000 atmospheres. LE in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Taiwan. He is, of course, the gentleman Terran himself. He is going to be representing himself, especially with that clan tag. He is a bunch of Hangul letters, but we know him as JavieR.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, LE, we have it's all coming back. Oh no,
this is a different waifu.
There are many. If you remember, it looks like this man, he lost his waifu last qualifier. It is, of course, El Otaku himself, the man who knocks. It is KnockKnock.
El Otaku, yeah.
Gonna
it's coming back to me.
Knock up your waifu?
What?
Oh god.
Wait, is that actually the same waifu as last time, or?
No, there were multiple waifus. Remember that's why there was the waifu killer. Or, like he was stealing your waifus. The other guy during the Chinese qualifiers. It all came full circle. Yeah.
Oh, they played against each other, so now KnockKnock had to find a new waifu.
He did.
And he did, man. He works fast.
he is very fickle, mate.
I feel like the opposite. He's not fickle at all. That's why he was able to another one so quickly.
Exactly. You know, the change of the wind. He's done with you, mate. He gets another. Doesn't even care.
Ladies.
Oh. Well, yeah. I'm surprised to see these two players returning again. More importantly, that JavieR is competing with his other account. This one is GM, so I guess this is like his main ladder account, I guess, question mark, maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe the account that he uses just to avoid, you know, giving away too much information, letting people know, yes, my name is JavieR, I am doing this build on the ladder.
So you're gonna say, like, so people know, like, what anime he's watching right now or something like that, you know, like...
No, that's KnockKnock. KnockKnock changes his account based on that. Or I guess more of his clan tag, really.
There you go. But so far, so good. Nothing too crazy coming out from either of these players. You know, we do have some relatively standard openers, both of them going for their bases. No one going on like some one base shenanigans or anything like that.
Yeah, very safe openings from both of these players. Factory expand and, you know, double Reaper Hellion. JavieR will be trying to get some map control with his Reapers and Hellion singular, but not really a lot you can do unless you were building something more aggressive, especially against the spread that KnockKnock's got.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I thought you were about to say unless you're built different.
Unless you're built of caviar, yeah.
There you go. I mean, he's going to try anyway. Of course, on a map like 2000 Atmospheres, there are multiple ways into the main base, so the Reapers could just dip straight in. They don't have to brute force their way through the natural. But so far, he's going to try it. Oh.
Brilliant RQ from KnockKnock. He should win this, but he actually doesn't. Very quick reaction from JavieR, pulling back and even able to get one of KnockKnock's Reapers without losing any of his own.
Yeah, very nicely done there by JavieR. Not the biggest of wins, but a win nonetheless. You know, weakening the army of KnockKnock, making it easier to dive in later on. But enough time has passed, mate. Cyclones are coming out. Ravens are on the way. Like, oh, it's just, you know, was just looking for a sign of weakness there from KnockKnock.
Yeah, it's a moral victory more than anything here. Like, what are you gonna do now, huh? Yeah. I too have the Cyclone. We have the exact same build order, my guy.
Yeah, but you know what? I've got one extra Reaper. Yeah.
Exactly. That means one extra KD8 charge.
Oh, and
bouncing forever.
Mate, the Cyclone's in the main. It's in the main.
And it is. It is not going to be available to help defend against the force here of JavieR. A couple of Marines will go down to the KD8 charges. Finally, the Cyclone comes on the low ground. But once again, I mean, JavieR is just shaving off some of these minerals and gases that have been spent in the Reapers and the Hellions.
Yeah, he's kind of bullying KnockKnock a little bit here. Like, again, with his aggression, with his, I guess, superior control when it comes to these engagements. I mean, they've been so chaotic to begin with, but somehow, some way, JavieR is just able to come out a little bit on top each time. Again, not the biggest of skirmishes, but, like, these little things, they will slowly add up.
They absolutely can if you let them, especially in the mirror matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, again, you know, both players, I do love that they're both, like, kind of meeting each other, you know, they've got their third bases on the way, you know, they've got their Ravens being pumped out as well, you know, 2 for both of them, so, you know, despite everything, they're still relatively even, other than those 2 skirmishes that we've had so far.
Yeah, and are those 2 skirmishes really going to be indicative of how the rest of the game goes? I say yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Because what JavieR has displayed in those skirmishes is just some better control from his units.
Exactly.
So I feel like a head-on engagement is exactly what KnockKnock probably wants to avoid. If I were him, I'd probably be looking to do something a little bit more harass-focused, but, you know, that is just me.
Well, it's also one of those things that, to be fair, a TvT can be decided in one engagement, you know, it could all come down to, like, who sieges up first, you know, who disables first as well. That's going to be very important when it comes to both of their Ravens. Even though we do see JavieR taking these small early victories, like it still could all just go KnockKnock's way when it all comes down to it.
Yeah, to be fair. But then you also have to consider things like how many tanks are positioned and how well they are positioned. The aero superiority is even actually right now. Maybe favoring JavieR a little bit since he has a Cyclone, but is that Cyclone really going to make much of a difference when it comes to the Viking count?
Yeah, it's all about positioning, right? More than anything. Meanwhile, it looks like JavieR has outpositioned his opponent a little bit. Now there's only one tank here to defend. The rest have to be repositioned.
That they do, unfortunately. I was about to praise KnockKnock for the spread of tanks, but then JavieR, he sensed some weakness. He realized that's just one tank without any sort of buffer, my guy. I'm going straight on forward.
It's one of the things like, hey, look, his tanks are spread. And it's like, oh no, his tanks are spread.
Oh, no. Like, that's exactly what it was.
Now we have JavieR has the high ground. The tanks are trying to move up the ramp. Meanwhile, the natural base is completely isolated to the rest of the army, and the base is falling. SCVs are being picked off. Reinforcements are coming out. Maybe KnockKnock can push this away.
Should be able to, at the very least, chase this away, but he's already taken quite a bit of damage. His tank count, not exactly reset, but it may as well be. You know, he's got one tank in the main, not doing anything. Two tanks by the third base. Again, not really doing much. Now he's trying to inch his way forward, but the scans from JavieR, like, never preventing anything from getting in range.
That they are. It's so difficult to break this contain here, and as all this is happening, we have a bit of a doom jump head towards the third base or straight into the main. Okay, he does go for the third, looking to hit another one of these mining bases.
I'm a bit surprised he didn't decide to drop on top of those tanks themselves, but I guess he realized that KnockKnock would have to reposition them regardless. Oh no. KnockKnock's so desperate for the third base, he's floating it away.
Yeah, it does finally turn around, and it should be okay because the tank is covering the ground there as a lot of shots are going off on those Marines. Meanwhile, in comes another force. Is this going to be enough here to break the contain? It is not. The Raven gets picked off.
GG is called. JavieR takes game number 1. Bit of an unfortunate miscalculation right at the end there from KnockKnock.
Yeah.
It's like that's one of those instinctual things, right? Like in a TvT, you see exposed tanks, you have Marines, you're like, oh, I could try to get those, but unfortunately when it's 2 tanks and you don't have too many Marines, plus a choke point in the natural base like that, he just barely didn't have enough. And JavieR, he had more than enough.
Yeah, it all came down to that one move that we saw, right, where there were already 3 siege tanks at that third base. He noticed that, he rotates around where there's only 1 on the high ground, and it's like, oh, suddenly the advantage goes in favor of JavieR. Again, we talk about this all the time, and you're well aware of this. TvT, mate, it's all about the positioning.
That's why I hate playing it so much. Fantastic to watch, honestly. You appreciate the positioning very much, but when you're actually when you're actually in the chair and you're like,
yeah,
I have to look at the mini map more often. I have to like do math in my head. You have to be patient.
You have to scan. You have to send out spotted Marines. You have to maybe even sometimes make assumptions of what your opponent's doing and try and anticipate where they're going. Like it's.
You're already making me feel exhausted, like just thinking about doing all of that. I'm like, TvT, man, why can't I just like do nothing but build Marines and then send them across the map at 6 minutes? Come on, why can't this be like TVP?
Oh god. Man, I don't know if you want some more TVP in your life. I don't know about that one, man.
But regardless, I feel like one of these players is going to have to play a couple of TVPs as we move forward in this bracket. Continuing our best of 3 starting match here. On Romanda's side, LE over in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way at the top left-hand. The red Terran player coming down from the land of Taiwan. He is refined. He is a gentleman. He's wearing his cabana hat, chilling at his beach house with his caviar. He is JavieR.
You okay?
I wanted to make it rhyme better. Like JavieR.
Well, spawning in the bottom right, currently being proxied by the most gentleman of all gentlemen, we have the Taiwanese Terran player representing, fighting for his waifu. He is the one who knocks, or will he be knocked down? It is KnockKnock.
Is that armor? The waifu? Yeah, is she wearing armor?
I think that's like that's just a shirt.
Oh, like a collar.
Yeah, like a collar.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
She's classy, okay, right?
She is. That's why JavieR is gonna steal her.
oh no. Well, we do have a very aggressive opener here from JavieR. It's something that
mining. He doesn't want to take the long way around with his Reapers. He doesn't have an orbital, thankfully, but pretty soon he could try to drop a mule. No, I think 2 SCVs.
Yeah, 2 SCVs.
Mine that out, right? Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
That is all you need, papi. There we go. There in comes the second SCV. The final of those minerals are going to be mined. And I just love this opener here on Romanticide, right? Romanticide is, it's a pretty standard map. It's a pretty big map. KnockKnock, he's probably thinking, okay, no rush 10 minutes. We're going to slowly get up to 3 bases. Nah, mate.
Nah, there's never any in-between on Romanticide. Either 50-minute games or 5-minute games. And when it's a 5-minute game, it's usually because one of the players realizes, okay, this game can go on to 50 minutes. I'm going to prevent that from happening.
Pretty much. Right, here we go. The Reapers are going to be able to go up into the main base. We have 2 Reapers on the way for KnockKnock, but they're still on the way because of that reactor first. And now a couple of SCVs are going to fall. Oh.
They are, a lot of them being pulled off the line. And we'll say that KnockKnock at least will get a Hellion out. And 2 Reapers plus a Hellion beats 3 Reapers almost every time.
Yeah, almost.
Depending on how well they control.
Exactly. No, the Reaper! No! Oh, good! Hold position, papi! God.
As you were saying, almost every time.
Jesus Christ, these guys, they're eager to jump down into battle, mate, but maybe a little bit too eager.
Stop me in, coach! No. We can't right now.
You're not ready, son. You're not ready.
We need more training.
Oh god, we do have a cancel on
we have the ramp.
We do have a cancel. The CC gets up the ramp a little bit here. Doesn't commit. Cannot because of this wall. Will he try and go up this ramp? Is he crazy enough to do so?
I feel like either way, when you have 2 Hellions out here, going to the high ground with Reapers, that's always going to be a risk. JavieR has sort of realized that. He's being a bit more conservative with his Reapers right now. He's sending that barracks in to see what he can get away with, but already he's caused a lot of damage, delaying that.
No!
So look, the rally!
No, both?
And
oh my!
Over to the supply depot.
Jesus Christ! Immediately, 2 additional Reapers go down. KnockKnock, he does finally re-rally his racks in his factory, but already a couple more losses. That means it's going to be even harder for KnockKnock to take his natural.
May even lose the supply depot.
God, he will. It's gone, mate.
Riding so much high ground vision. Supply capped. Oh no, things are going from bad to worse here for KnockKnock, and they weren't great to start to begin with. So.
Exactly. The second depot falls. Behind this, JavieR is expanding. He's not all in. He's getting ready to transition. He's already got a Cyclone. He's got a tank on the way. This guy's insane. Meanwhile, KnockKnock, he's got to make a decision. All in or try and expand?
He sees the Hellions and Reapers go down the ramp line with his barracks. He's going back in with his Reapers.
The MVP racks. We have a 3rd CC on the way, and it is being delayed here. Again, KnockKnock, he's trying to catch up when it comes to the resources. Oh, sorry, the natural. My apologies.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's how bad the situation is.
Exactly. It's like normally you see a CC building at this time and you're like, oh yeah, you can get away with an earlier 3rd base in TvT, and it's like, wait a minute. My eyes are playing tricks on me again.
Yeah, that's not a 3rd, that's a 2nd, that's a natural. Ay. You know what I would love?
Similar to 3, unfortunately.
I would have loved it if we've seen it before, if this Rax like raced the CC over and landed on location to block.
He should. I mean, what's gonna stop that?
Oh, he's going for it, but it's too late.
He's going for it. Oh, if only it was a little sooner.
Yeah, that could be
so. He'll end up right next to it, though. Just cause.
Land on the waifu.
That'll actually like prevent a little bit of mining, I think.
It would.
Okay, but he moves it away.
Yeah, I mean, the racks will eventually be taken down, and what's scary is that, again, JavieR, he's up in workers, he's up in tech, he's already got a Raven out for a disable. KnockKnock needs to do something drastic, and this is what I was referring to earlier, I guess, third CC is on the way. This is definitely a way to come back.
Yep.
But can he survive long enough for this to kick in?
He can, but again, that's going to depend a lot on his control. He's got plenty of Reapers, which aren't great against Marine Tank, but if he has enough KD8 charges, he can stall to get more of a Marine Force out. Fortunately, they're just not in position.
Oh no, the Reapers are going to dive back into the main base, and the army's out of position. There's one Cyclone. No, the Cyclone!
Oh, they haven't. Will get taken out. There's just one too many Reapers to deal with. The third is delayed again. More SCVs go down. It's 43 to 21.
Jesus Christ, KnockKnock, he's barely legal enough to go out to drink, and that is not enough to take on JavieR here in Romanticide in Game 2. The Hellions across the map, they haven't done anything. He is mature, mate. Oh my god.
This SCV count.
Feels bad, man. KnockKnock, you gotta make something happen, mate. Something's gotta go down. Maybe like, I don't know, like a Hail Mary drop into the main base. A Hail Mary drop into the main base. Oh,
yeah,
no.
it's really hard to try to figure out what he can do in this situation. The math just does not favor him whatsoever. But we'll see. We shall see. I believe in the power of KD8 charges. You know, if you put them in the hands of somebody who's able to control them well enough, maybe he can buy himself some time. Maybe.
I mean, the Hellions, they're going to counterattack, and I think his hope is that maybe JavieR will turn around and go back home. Unfortunately, that is not the case. JavieR, he commits to this attack. The Raven, does get a disable, does get picked off, but still was able to disable half of the tanks here.
Yeah, if there was just one more tank here for KnockKnock, maybe he could have pushed this away for a little while longer. But just not to be the case. I mean, these tanks of JavieR aren't even sieged up because there's nothing to stop him. GG is called. JavieR. He's going to be sipping on his caviar as he takes that series 2-0. Well played. Yeah, he's even saying thanks.
Do you sip on caviar? Do you...
Maybe.
Do you know what caviar is?
I have had it, and by it I mean the budget version, which is at the sushi joints.
Fair, fair enough. You don't sip on that, buddy.
You don't. Well, sometimes you do. You like slurp it up and then you eat the rest of the sushi.
Slurping is not sipping. You don't sip on oysters. You know.
Don't you?
Yeah, there we are.
Because when you squeeze the lemon juice, sometimes you want to sip on the lemon juice. Of course, you can cut out the middleman by just biting the lemon wedge.
So JavieR, he just he moves on in the bracket.
And he does, and he already has an opponent.
He does already have an opponent there in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, we did just get updated as well. Lo and behold, no surprise, Cell does take down Small Go.
Or is it Small Goey?
Small Goey.
Because he has a waifu.
Is he a small Joey? Think about that. But Cell does move on in the quarterfinals to face his opponent. We're not too sure who that will be. Not yet, anyway. I believe Psyarch is still mid-series. But, you know, we already have our own series waiting for us, right?
Yeah, may as well.